Do we have sound? We do. Shabbat Shalom. Let there be sound. Excellent. We will begin our service this morning on page 117. Page 117. And we'll begin with the words of Ma Tovu, which have a very special significance on this Shabbat morning, because we will hear those very words read in our Torah scroll later on in the service by Robin Moss, who I'm extremely happy is going to help out with our service today. So as we sing Ma Tovu, which we do every Saturday, just a little kavanah before we get there, that this, after all, is a blessing. We say it at the start of most of our services, and we sing it, and it's such a lovely tune, and what we often forget is the story that surrounds it. So as we sing it this morning, I want us to hold that in our heads, that actually there's a great big story around Ma Tovu. There are blessings, and there are curses, and there are talking donkeys, and all sorts of mystical, magical, miraculous things that happen around the Ma Tovu. So stay seated and stay tuned, and we will hear more about this miraculous prayer during our Torah service. We're on page 117. Ma Tovu, Ma Tovu, Ohalecha Yaakov, Mishkenotecha Yisrael, Ma Tovu, Ma Tovu, Ohalecha Yaakov, Mishkenotecha Yisrael, Vani berov chastecha, avo beitecha, eshtachov elecha al kodshecha, ve'yiratecha, Ma Tovu, Ma Tovu, Ohalecha Yaakov, Mishkenotecha Yisrael, Adonai ahavti, me'on beitecha, umekam mishkan kevodecha, mishkan kevodecha, vani eshtachaveh, ve'echra, evrecha lifnei Adonai, osi, Ma Tovu, Ma Tovu, Ohalecha Yaakov, Mishkenotecha Yisrael, Vani tefilati lecha, Adonai et ratzon, Elohim berov chastecha, Elohim berov chastecha, aneni be'emek yishecha, Ma Tovu, Ma Tovu, Ohalecha Yaakov, Mishkenotecha Yisrael. We thank you, O God, for this new day, for morning sun and evening star, for flowering of tree and flowing of tide, for life-giving rains and cooling breezes, for the changing seasons, for the cycle of growth and decay, of life and death. We awake and behold a new day. O God, renew us unto life. Teach us to recognize your presence in creation. Grateful for your gifts, may we dedicate all our powers to your service. We're on page 118. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, Hokeach ivrim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, Malbish arumim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, Matir asurim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, Zokev kefufim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, She'asa li kol tzorki. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, Hanoten layav koach. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, Hama'avir sheina me'enai, U'tenuma me'af apai. Baruch she'amar v'haya ha'olam, Baruch hu. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, Hamechulal b'fi amo, Meshubach u'mefo'ar b'lshon chasidav va'avadav, Bishvachot u'vizmirot, Negadelcha v'namlichacha, Malkeinu yachid chei ha'olamim. Baruch atah Adonai, Melech mechulal batishbachot. With the coming of day and night, I will enter the covenant of God, and when evening and morning depart, I will recite God's decrees. God Most High, you are my righteousness. You teach me goodness. You are the fountain of knowledge, the dwelling place of holiness, and the summit of glory. Eternal might and majesty are yours. I will choose whatever you teach me, gladly accepting your judgments. As soon as I move my hands and feet, I will praise your name, when I go out and when I come in, when I lie down and when I rise up. When I rest on my bed, I will sing your praise, and in the company of my friends, I will praise you with the words of my mouth. Tov lehodot l'Adonai, ulezamer l'shimcha elyon, lehagid baboker chasdecha, ve'emunatecha ba'alelot, alei asur v'alei navel, alei higayon bechinor, ki simachtachtani Adonai b'fa'alecha, b'maaseh yadecha aranen, marabu maasecha, Adonai me'od amku, machshevotecha, tzadik ata ma'yifrach, ke'erez ba'levanon, yizkei shetulim, beveit Adonai, Yishtabach shimcha la'ad malkeinu, ha'el ha'melech ha'gadol ve'ha'kadosh b'shamayim u'va'aretz, ki lecha na'eh Adonai Eloheinu ve'Elohei avotenu, shir u'shvacha, halel ve'zimra, berachot ve'hodaot me'ata ve'ad olam. Baruch atah Adonai, habocher b'shirei zimra. We'll turn together to page 135. Page 135. Baruchu et Adonai mevorach. Baruch Praise the one to whom our praise is due. You may be seated. Together, we praise you, Eternal One, our God, Sovereign of the universe, Maker of light and Creator of darkness, Author of peace and Creator of all things. In your mercy you give light to the earth and all who live on it, and in your goodness you renew creation continually, day by day. How manifold are your works, O God! With wisdom have you made them all. The world is full of your creations. Your handiwork proclaims your praise. The radiant stars bear witness to your glory. We praise you, O God, Creator of light. Great is your love for us, eternal God, and abundant your compassion. Our ancestors trusted in you, and you taught them the laws of life. So be gracious to us and teach us. Incline our hearts to hear your words, to know and understand, to learn and teach, and with love to uphold the truths of your Torah. Enlighten us with your teaching, make us faithful to your commandments, and wholehearted in the love and awe of your name. For in love you summon us to serve you and proclaim your unity. We praise you, O God. In love you have called your people Israel to serve you. Please stand. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Shem kavod malachto le'olam va'ed. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha bechol levavcha ubechol nafshecha ubechol meodecha vehayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha Beshinantam levanecha, vedibarta bam, beshivtecha beveitecha, uvlechtecha vaderech, uvshochbecha uvkumecha, ukshartam leot al yadecha, vehayu letotafot beinenecha, uchtavtam, Al mezuzot beitecha uvi she'arecha. You may be seated. Leman tizkeru v'hasitem et kol mitzvotai v'hitem kedoshim lelohechem. Ani Adonai Elohechem Asher hotzeti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim liot lachem le'Elohim Ani Adonai Elohechem. Good and beautiful and true, sound, established, and enduring are these words now and forever. True it is, Eternal One, that you are our sovereign God and Redeemer, as you were the God and Redeemer of our ancestors. You are our Maker, the rock of our salvation. We have known you always as our helper and our liberator. There is no God but you. Truly you are first and you are last. We have no Redeemer but you. You redeemed us from Egypt and freed us from the house of bondage. Then with great joy, Moses, Miriam, and all Israel together sang to you this song. Elim Adonai, mi kamocha nadav b'kodesh, norah tehilot osei Shira chadasha shibchu geulim, l'shimcha al sfat hayam. Yachad kulam hodu vehimlichu ve'amru. Please rise. So Yisrael, kuma bezrat Yisrael, Golenu Adonai, Sevaot Shemo, Kadosh Yisrael, Baruch atah Adonai, Kol Yisrael, Kol Yisrael, Amen. We'll join together for our Amidah on page 140. Adonai sefatai tiftachu fi tehilatecha. Adonai sefatai tiftachu fi tehilatecha. Turn, O God, open up my lips, that my mouth shall declare your praise. Eternal God, open up my lips, so my mouth shall declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu ve'Elohei avotenu ve'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, ve'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, ve'Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor ve'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, Vekonei Hakol, V'zocher Chastei Avot ve'imahot, Umevi Geula livnei v'neihem, Lema'an Shemo be'ahava, Melech Ozer u'Moshia u'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham, be'ezrat Sarah, Atah Gibor le'olam Adonai, Mechaye Meitim atah Rav leHoshia, Mashiv haruach u'morid hageshem, Mazriach hashemesh u'morid hata. V'cholkel chayim v'chesed, Mechayei meitim berachamim rabim. Somek noflim verofei cholim, umatir hasurim, umekayem emunato lishnei ava. Mi chamocha bal gevurot, unido melach, melech be'mit u'mechayeh, u'matzmiach Yeshua. V'ne'eman atah lehachayot meitim, Baruch atah Adonai, mechayeh. Nekadesh et shimcha ba'olam, keshem shemakdishim oto b'shmei marom, kakatuv al yad neviecha. Kadosh, 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 Adonai Tzevot, Melech haaretz, Kevodo, Kevodo malei olam, Baruch Kevod Adonai, Mimkomcha Malkeinu Tofia, Betimloch Aleinu Ki Mechakim Anachnu Lach. Elohai Zion, Ledor Vador, Alleluia. Ledor Vador Nagid Godlecha, Ulenetzach Netzachim Kedushatcha Nakdish, B'shivchacha Eloheinu Mipinu Lo Yamush Neolam Va'ed. Baruch Atah Adonai, Ha'el HaKadosh. You may be seated. Yismechu v'malchutecha, Yismechu v'malchutecha, Shomerei Shabbat v'korei oneg, Amekadshei Shevi'i, Amekadshei Shevi'i, Kulam yisbehu v'yitangu mituvecha, Behashvi Rasita bo v'kidashta, Behashvi Rasita bo v'kidashta, Chemdat Yamim, Karata, Zecher L'maseh, L'maseh v'Reshit. Eloheinu v'Elohei Avoteinu, Ritzei, Ritzei, v'Menuchateinu. Kadeshenu b'mitzvotecha, v'ten chelkeinu b'toratecha, Sabeinu mituvecha, v'samcheinu b'yeshuatecha, v'taher libeinu, le'ovtecha, le'ovtecha, le'ovtecha be'emet, v'hanchilenu Adonai Eloheinu, be'ahava uvratzon Shabbat kodshecha, ve'anuchu v'Yisrael mekadeshei shemecha. Baruch atah Adonai, mekadesh haShabbat. Together, Ritzei Adonai Eloheinu be'amecha Yisrael, utfilatam be'ahava tekabel, utihi leratzon tamid avodat Yisrael amecha. Baruch atah Adonai, she'otcha levadcha b'yir'ah na'avod. Modim anachnu lach, she'atah hu Adonai Eloheinu be'Elohei Avotenu, le'olam va'ed. Tzor chayenu magen yeshenu, atah hu ledor vador. Nodeh lecha unesaper tehilatecha, al chayenu hamsorim biadecha, ve'al nishmotenu hapikudot lach, ve'al nisecha shebechol yom imanu, ve'al niflotecha v'tovotecha shebechol et erev vavoker v'tzohorayim. Baruch atah Adonai, hatov shimcha, ulecha na'eh lehodot. Sim shalom, tova uvracha. Sim shalom, tova uvracha. Sim shalom, tova uvracha. Sim shalom. Grant peace, welfare, and blessing, grace, love, and mercy to us and to all Israel, your people. As a loving parent, bless us with the light of your presence, for by the light of your presence, eternal God, you have revealed to us the law of life, a love of kindness and righteousness, blessing and mercy, life and peace. For it is good in your sight that your people Israel and all peoples be blessed at all times with your gift of peace. We praise you, O God, the source of peace. We'll continue in silent prayer. Oh, say shalom bimromav, huya say shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol bnei Adam. Yaseh shalom, Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. We'll now turn to our Torah service, our Seder Kriyat HaTorah on page 481. And I would invite Robin and all those involved in our Torah service this morning to come and join me on the upper bima. Page 481. There is none like you, Eternal One, among the gods people worship, and there are no deeds like yours. Your sovereignty is everlasting. Your reign endures from age to age. Please stand.
Adonai, Adonai,
Shemo Yachdav. You may be seated.
The parsha this week is Balak, the seventh portion in the book of Numbers. Balak, the king of Moab, is alarmed by the presence of the Israelites in his land. He decides that, presumably in advance of an attempt to attack them, he will hire a renowned soothsayer, Balaam, to perform a cursing ritual over the Israelites. God appears to Balaam, and an angel appears to his rather unfortunate donkey, telling him not to curse, but instead to bless the Israelites. And this is what ends up happening, with the blessing that Balaam ends up offering being one of the most famous verses in the whole of the Torah. Balak was my bar mitzvah portion, and as my parents reminded me, also my brother's bar mitzvah portion. So this is the second time I'll have read it from this very bima here at MPLS, and the third time our family will have. The first was 19 years ago, in July 2000. 2 decades on, I'm honored to be reading it again here at my home shul. I will be reading Numbers chapter 23, verse 27, to chapter 24, verse 5. This is most of the 6th aliyah in the traditional sevenfold division of the parashah, or it's part of the 3rd section of the parashah in our triennial cycle. It can be found on page 1178 of the Chumash. That's 1178.
Baruch hu et Adonai HaMevorach.
Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'olam va'ed.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech olam asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten
HaTorah. Amen. Please hold this. Vayomer Balak el Bilam, Lecha na ekechacha el makom acher ulai, Yisha b'nei ha'elohim v'kabto li mishom. Vaikach Balak et Bilam, Rosh hapoah, hanishkaf al pnei ha'simon. Vayomer Bilam el Balak, b'nei li vazer shiva mizbachot, v'hachen li vazer shiva farim v'shiva elim. Vaya'as Balak ka'asher amar Bilam, vaya'al pa vaya'il b'mizbeach. Vaya'ar Bilam ki tov b'nei Adonai levarech et Yisrael, v'lo halach kafa'am b'fa'am likrat nachashim, vayeshet el hamidbar panav. Vayisa Bilam et einav, vaya'ar et Yisrael shochen lishbatav, Vayithi alav ruach Elohim, vayisa misholo, vayomer na'um Bilam, beno va'or u'na'um hagever shtum ha'ayin. Na'um shama, what is it? Imre el asher machazer Shaddai, yechazer nefa'al ugloi einayim. Ma tovu, or halecha Yaakov, mishkanotecha Yisrael.
Shkoach.
One mistake.
Baruch.
Right, hang on, got to do the translation first.
Sorry.
Unless all of you knew it, because we're all fluent in biblical Hebrew. Then Balak said to Balaam, "Come now, I will take you to another place. Perhaps God will deem it right that you damn them for me there." Balak took Balaam to the peak of Peor, which overlooks the wasteland. Balaam said to Balak, "Build me here 7 altars, and have 7 bulls and 7 rams ready for me here." Balak did as Balaam said. He offered up a bull and a ram on each altar. Now Balaam, seeing that it pleased God to bless Israel, did not, as on previous occasions, go in search of omens, but turned his face towards the wilderness. As Balaam looked up and saw Israel encamped tribe by tribe, the Spirit of God came upon him. Taking up his theme, he said, "Word of Balaam, son of Beor, word of the man whose eye is true, word of him who hears God's speech, who beholds visions from the Almighty, prostrate but with eyes unveiled. How fair are your tents, O Jacob, your dwellings, O Israel."
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torat emet, v'chayei olam notar b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
Please stand as we lift and dress our Torah scroll. Baruch Shenatan Torah le'amo Yisrael v'kedushato. You may be seated. And as we dress our Torah scroll, we will have the honor of hearing our Haftarah this morning read by Dan Sofer. And our blessings will be read by Lauren Kiley.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, Sukkot halamim, Sadik bechol hadorot, Ha'el haneman, Ha'omer v'oseh, Ha'medaber u'mekayem, Shekol devarav emet v'tzedek.
No, that's right. Amen.
I'm really sorry. I did this one.
Oh, did you? I thought you did this one. Amen. That's it. Oh, did you? I think that's the right one. Oh, we can start over.
Okay, sorry.
All right.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bacha b'nviim tovim, v'ratza v'divreihem hanemarim be'emet. Baruch atah Adonai habocher b'Torah u'Moshe avdo u'Yisrael amo u'v'nviei hamet v'tzedek.
This week's Haftarah is from Micah, number 6. Hear what the Eternal One is saying. Come present my case before the mountains, and let the hills hear you pleading. Hear, you mountains, the case of the Eternal One, you firm foundations of the earth. For the Eternal One has a case against God's people. God has a suit against Israel. My people, what have I done to you? What hardship have I caused to you? Testify against me. In fact, I brought you up from the land of Egypt. I redeemed you from the house of bondage, and I sent you before Moses, Aaron, and Miriam. My people, remember what Balak, king of Moab, plotted against you, and how Balaam, son of Beor, responded to him. Recall your passage from Shittim to Gilgal, and you will recognize the gracious acts of the Eternal One. With what shall I approach the Eternal One? Do homage to God on high. Shall I approach God with burnt offerings, with calves a year old? Would the Eternal One be pleased with thousands of rams, with myriads of streams of oil? Shall I give my firstborn for my transgressions, the fruit of my body for my sins? God has told you, O mortal, what is good and what the Eternal One requires of you, only to do justice and to love goodness and to walk modestly with your God.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam Suko halamim Sadiq bechol hadorot Ha'el haneman Ha'omer v'oseh Hamdaber u'mekayem Shekol devarav Emet v'tzedek Al haTorah ve'al havodah ve'al hanviim ve'al yom haShabbat hazeh shenatat lanu Adonai Eloheinu likdusho ve'limnucho lechavod u'tifaretz Al hakol Adonai Eloheinu Anachnu modim lach Umbarachim otah Yitbarach Shimcha Befit kol chai tamid Leolam va'ed Baruch atah Adonai Mekadesh HaShabbat Amen.
Please rise. We'll join together on page 484 for the community prayers. Together. Eternal God, whose dominion embraces the universe, we ask your blessing for our sovereign lady, Queen Elizabeth, and all the royal family, for those who govern our country, and all who influence the quality of its national life. Make them conscious of their responsibility, and teach them to exercise it in accordance with your will. May we all help to fashion in this country a society that excels in freedom and justice, tolerance and compassion, so that it may be a force for righteousness and peace in the life of humanity. Eternal God, as you blessed our ancestors in generations past, bless now this congregation, its leaders and its members, and all who enter this synagogue to meet, to study, and to pray. Comfort the sorrowing hearts among us and heal those in anxiety or pain. May we all find here community and friendship, renewal of purpose and hope, a deeper understanding of our heritage, and a sense of your abiding presence. Bless all congregations of the House of Israel throughout the world. Let those who live under oppressive rule soon be freed, and may we all unite to witness to your truth and do your will. Eternal God, our rock and redeemer, grant blessing to the state of Israel, created to fulfill an age-old dream and to be a haven for the oppressed. Inspire its leaders and citizens with faithfulness to the aims of its founders, to develop the land for the benefit of all its inhabitants, and to implement the prophetic ideals of liberty and justice. May they live in harmony with one another and in peace with their neighbors, and cause to come true once more the ancient vision that out of Zion shall go forth Torah and the word of God from Jerusalem. We're on page 486. Yahalelu et Shem Adonai, ki niskav shemo levado. embarrass you in public and in the presence of your community and PLS. It is such an honor for me to be able to celebrate with you, with your family, with your friends on this 19th year anniversary of your bar mitzvah. We reflect often that when someone becomes bar mitzvah, is it really that they are becoming a Jewish adult? And I think mostly we answer that question with a resounding sort of. We start to get a sense of who we are, of our identity, of how we interact with our Judaism, and how we engage with our community. And I think in the 19 years since your bar mitzvah, your family and your community have seen just how much you have shaped your identity, your Jewish identity, and your engagement with Torah. 19 is a very auspicious number, as it turns out. We like to give deeper meanings to our numbers in Judaism. And our Amidah is sort of misleading. It's called the Shmona Esrei, which is 18 in Hebrew. But we actually have 19 blessings in our Amidah. And for each of those 19 blessings in our Amidah, we correspond to one of the 19 years since your bar mitzvah that you've been a blessing to your community, to your family, to your friends, to your coworkers, and to someone like me, who walked into this country about a year ago knowing very little and knowing basically no one, and you've become a friend and you've become like family. So Robin, it is my absolute honor to bless you with the words that have followed us throughout our generations, that have blessed countless B'nai Mitzvah, and have blessed countless Jews as they embark on milestones in their lives in front of their communities. Yivarechecha Adonai ve'yishmerecha. May God bless you and keep you. Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'yichuneka. May God look kindly upon you and be gracious to you. Yisa Adonai panav elecha ve'yasem lecha shalom. May God turn God's countenance towards you and grant you peace. Mazel tov. And we will remain standing and put our Torah scroll back in the ark, and we'll turn back to page 484, I believe. 488, just a little bit off. 489, indeed. Behold, a good doctrine has been given you. Do not forsake it. It is a tree of life to those who hold it fast, and all who cling to it find happiness. Its ways are ways of pleasantness, and all its paths are peace. You may be seated.
There's an old quip about Jews. You may have heard it, and it goes like this. To be a Jew is to believe in one God or fewer. I've always liked it because it inevitably raises a smile and because it carries within it a deep kernel of truth. To be a modern Jew is to live in a secular, skeptical world. Perhaps in a pre-scientific age, one could believe that God truly was the invisible hand behind all the seemingly unexplainable phenomena of the world. sunrises and ocean tides, flower germination and magnetic levitation. But today we know this is not the case. The diminishing role for God as the first explanation has given way to a rather more abstract God as the first cause or the maker of the natural laws. This trend has been nicknamed the God of the gaps, because as the gaps in our explanatory knowledge close ever more year by year, the space for this kind of God shrinks and shrinks. It's no wonder, therefore, that the God of the gaps, for many people, is followed logically soon after by believing in no gaps, so no God. God, of course, can be conceived in other, more abstract, though no less powerful ways. God could be the mysterious, the higher power, the being that, if you like, puts the spirit in spiritual. Even if we as liberal Jews feel profoundly uncomfortable with the idea of God who answers our prayers, I would wager there are still many liberal Jews who feel that God is the being, at least, who listens to their prayers. For others, God might be the guarantor of morality or the provider of meaning, often invoked as a counterweight to the supposedly cold, austere, amoral, meaningless structures of science. Stephen Jay Gould, a 20th century biologist, one of the most famous and prominent, and a self-proclaimed Jewish agnostic, famously outlined his principle of what he called noma, non-overlapping magisteria. And the basic idea was that science and religion, or the scientist and the rabbi, or the scientist and the cantor, are designed to ask different questions and provide different kinds of knowledge of the human experience. Science should concern itself with fact and theory, religion with meaning and value. God in this conception is not so much squeezed out of the conversation by growing scientific knowledge as conducting a totally separate conversation altogether. So, whatever you believe or don't believe about God, as I said at the start, feel confident that you are part of a long and honourable Jewish philosophical tradition. Jews have been atheists and agnostics since at least Spinoza, and probably long before, and today, according to research by JPR, only a third of British Jews consider belief in God to be a very important element of their Jewish identity. And I would hazard a guess, though this is entirely my own hunch and not based on research, that our own sector of British Jewry, liberal Judaism, has lower levels of belief in God than other more traditionally religious sectors. And yet, in our midst, for sure, we'll have believers of all kinds, and plenty of them. We just don't talk about it much. Like Alistair Campbell famously said about the Blair government, we don't do God. Yet there is one kind of experience, relevant to the parasha this week, that forces a person, whether they like it or not, to do God. And that is a direct, unmediated religious experience, an encounter with the divine. We're used, of course, in the Torah to seeing God converse with the Israelites, especially with Moses, and indeed intervene directly in their affairs. God brings plagues on the Egyptians and in the desert on the Israelites themselves. God creates pillars of fire. God sends manna. But what is unusual, perhaps unique, about Parashat Balak, a part of which I read this morning, is that God is directly active in the story, appearing both as a voice and an angel, but the recipients of those visions are not Israelites at all. Indeed, they're Balaam, a pagan soothsayer, and his donkey. And even more remarkably, this is not a story of conversion. Balaam does not have a road to Damascus moment. God is not appearing in order to somehow convince a non-Israelite to take up their faith and customs. God appears to ask that Balaam blesses rather than curses the Israelites. An entire episode, presumably, that the Israelites themselves were entirely unaware about, because Balaam's visions were all taking place far from where they were camped, and the story gives no indication that any Israelite was around to witness either Balaam's conversations with his donkey or with Balak. Now, to be clear, I've never had a religious experience of this kind. I've never observed what I took to be a miracle. I've never seen a vision or heard the voice of God. And in truth, people who say they have tend to scare me a little bit. Hearing the voice of God telling one what to do in the modern world is more closely associated with serial killers than earnest blessings offerers. And as I said before, the space of what today would count as a miracle is much smaller than it was in antiquity. A year before my bar mitzvah, in the summer of 1999, we as a family went to Cornwall for a once-in-a-lifetime event, the observation of a total solar eclipse. But this was not some religious pilgrimage. It was a family holiday, with the best of modern science in the background, so that we knew where and when to be to get the best glimpse of this remarkable but purely natural event. And since the time that the Torah was written, there have been attacks on the very idea of a miracle. David Hume, probably the greatest of all the British philosophers of the Enlightenment, argued 250 years ago that because the evidence to confirm a miracle had indeed taken place would need to be so extraordinary, no one-off event would provide that. Therefore, the probability of a non-miraculous explanation would always outweigh the probability of divine or similarly non-natural intervention. But for Balaam, the implication was clear. God, and not just any God, but the God of the Israelites, was real, was present, and was asking something of him. So he ditched his pre-prepared script, the curses that he created specifically to bring bad fortune to the Israelites, and instead offered a blessing, the first line of which I read this morning. Ma tovu ochalecha Yaakov, mishkanotecha Yisrael. Some of the most familiar words in the whole of the Torah, said or sung every week, for some every day, in almost every synagogue in the world. A Jewish prayer written by a non-Jew. A blessing that replaced a curse. A result of divine intervention, but the autonomous creation of a pagan soothsayer, a man and his donkey, forced to experience God and choosing to bless God's chosen people. A cynic might say he was just saving his own skin, fearful of divine retribution if he'd gone ahead with the curse. But personally, I prefer a different reading. I prefer to believe that Balaam, after his religious experience, found himself overlooking the encamped Israelites, and something inside him said, "Stop." I prefer to believe that Balaam already knew deep inside, and long before his encounter with the divine, that cursing people was wrong and corrupting. God did not so much command Balaam to bless rather than curse, as God's presence aroused within Balaam the courage to do what he had always known was right. In this understanding of the story, God is not so much the guarantor or enforcer of morality as God is the great moral nudger in chief. And whatever you call that still small voice deep inside each of us, God, conscience, Freudian superego, Skinnerian cultural operant conditioning, I'm not sure it matters. I hope it doesn't take me or any of us to have a terrifying encounter with an angel while riding a donkey to remind us that voice exists. Because behaving in an upstanding, right, and moral way is not always easy, but should always be necessary. However you choose to stir your own conscience, to raise a little the volume of that moral voice is up to you. Doing the right thing is a choice, perhaps the most profound of all of our choices, and I hope we all might make our moral choices with greater intensity, integrity, and intentionality this coming week and for the rest of our lives. Shabbat Shalom.
Robin, I said this to you before the service, but I'll say it now. I wish I could read your bar mitzvah sermon, because if it was even half as beautiful as that. It wasn't. I would still very much like to read it one day. Robin, thank you. That was gorgeous. And we'll continue on page 520. Page 520 for the Aleinu. Please rise. Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, אשר שם חלקנו לייחד את שמו, וגור עלינו להמליך מלכותו, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא, שהוא נוטה שמיים ויוסר ארץ, ומושב יקרו בשמיים ממעל, ושכינתו זו בגובהי מרומים, הוא אלוהינו אין עוד, אמת מלכנו אפס זולתו, ככתוב בתורתו, וידעת היום והשיבות אל לבביך, כי אדוני הוא האלוהים בשמיים ממעל ועל Bayom hahu, bayom hahu, Yeh Adonai echad, Ushemo, Ushemo, Ushemo echad. As we worship before you, O God, we think of those who once shared with us the joys and burdens of life, and who are no longer in our midst. The sorrow of bereavement is softened by the bond of love which continues to unite us with our dear ones, and by our cherished memories of them, which we will always carry in our hearts. May all that was good in their lives remain with us as an influence for good. O God, grant consolation to those who are in sorrow, and light to those in darkness. Teach us at all times to put our trust in you, and to praise your name. On this Shabbat, our community observes the yahrzeits of Abraham David Gard, father of Barbara Glynn, grandfather of Judith Pemberton Glynn, Philip Austin, and Sue Krasner. Aubrey Magnus, father of Andy Cole, and Frances Sacker, wife of Tony Sacker. We'll join together with all those in mourning on page 524. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei rabbah, ve'alma divrach ivrutei ve'amlich malchutei, v'chayechon u'v'yomechon u'v'chayei dechol beit Yisrael, v'agala u'v'zman kariv ve'imru, amen. Yehei shemei rabbah mevarach le'olam u'lalmei almaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitba'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh, v'yithadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal l'shemei dekudsha brichu, le'ela min kol berchata v'shirata, tushbachata v'nechemata, ta'amiran be'alma v'imru, amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'imru, amen. Oseh shalom bimrama, u'ya'aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol b'nei Adam, ve'imru. May great peace descend from heaven, and abundant life be granted to us and all who mourn, and let us say, Amen. You may be seated. Now, I'm aware that my first announcement here is about table tennis, and because I've only been sort of observing from afar and have so wanted to participate but haven't yet had the opportunity to, Rabbi Andrew, do you want to say a quick few words about table tennis? No, not particularly? It happens to be the best sport in the world.
Tuesday is the next one. First Tuesday and third Tuesday of the month, a group of men and women of any age gather together at any standard for a social game of table tennis.
Yeah.
And to watch the champions play.
One of these Tuesdays I'll get around to it. I always hear the intense competition down in the office, and the sound sort of travels down. It sounds very exciting, so if even they ever need some table tennis cheerleaders, come along and join. It's actually a really lovely way to spend a summer afternoon. Much more announcements can be found if you follow our weekly updates, but just to say that this Tisha B'Av, NPLS together with Kol Chai will host Labor Counselor Peter Mason, the National Secretary to the Jewish Labor Movement, who will discuss with us the inquiry of the Equality and Human Rights Commission into labor anti-Semitism claims. So join us for that at NPLS on Saturday evening, the 10th of August at 8 p.m., and more information about that is available online. Additionally, online you can find all the information about our pre-High Holy Day memorial services, so all the dates and times, as I said, are available on our website. And unless I'm forgetting any announcements, there is indeed. I always forget to promote things that I do. On Wednesday, this Wednesday at 7 p.m., we are having our what's now a sort of regular monthly occurrence, NPLS Sings Rock, which has provided me an incredible opportunity to learn incredible music I did not grow up with but wish I had. We have been singing the Beatles and ABBA and the Eagles and Aerosmith and having so much fun doing it and making a whole bunch of new friends in the process. And if you'd like to maybe come and meet my mother, she'll be here from the States, and she'll be joining us on Wednesday night to sing the songs of her teenage years. So if you're interested, you don't have to have been at any of the other NPLS Sings Rock sessions. Just come along and sing with us. And most importantly, you do not, I repeat, do not have to be a good singer. Just come along if you like the music. I promise we don't sound professional, and if we did, I would tell people to sound less professional. It's for fun. Thank you for reminding me, Sharon. Excellent. See you there. And we'll conclude our service on page 525 with Adon Olam. Adon Olam asher malach b'terem kol yatzir nivra le'et nasa b'chefzo kol azoi melech shemo nikra ve'acharei kichlot hakol levado yimloch nora behu haya behu hove behu yeh betifara behu echad ve'en sheni lehamshila lehachbira beli reshit beli tachlit velo haos vehamisra vehu eli vechai goali vetzor chevli beitzara vehu nisi umanosli menad kosi beyom ekra Be'ado afkid ruchi be'et ishan ve'ayira ve'im ruchi gaviyati Adonai li ve'lo ira. Please rise. Baruch atah b'volecha u'baruch atah b'tzeitecha. Blessed may you be when you come in, and blessed may you be when you go out. Adonai oz me'amo yisrael, Adonai yivarech et amo v'shalom. Amen. Shabbat shalom.